Okay.
Good morning.
Okay, perfect.
I forgot my yogurt this morning, so. This was good alternative.
Looks like a great alternative.
Some good stuff in here.
Okay, number 5.
Everyone sign in? This is the quietest I've ever seen this group. You knew that was coming.
I
didn't you?
I did, I so totally knew, that's okay. I have a whole bag of them. Just saying. We might have to have another scavenger hunt.
Did you go on a cruise? Yeah, it was a lot of fun. A lot of food. Put on a few pounds. I still haven't taken off. A lot of alcohol and a lot of sun. Good.
Sounds like it was a success.
And a lot of bikinis.
Really? How many do you have?
This is being recorded.
I just didn't expect that.
Yeah,
So-
I just got image out of my mind.
Do you have a particular color you prefer?
That was good.
Sometimes I'm on it. Sometimes I look for my cell
Sometimes,
phone with
sometimes.
a flashlight on my cell phone.
All right, well, good morning.
Left my
It
person
is our
home today.
July 24th version of our weekly business meeting. And that means I need to take my morning jog.
Yes.
So we could do our on-time drawing. Oh, my feet hurt. I heard that. Still quiet.
I don't think that one broke the straw though.
I don't think so.
That's okay.
I didn't start my watch. They have no idea what we're talking about. All right, what are we giving away?
Good stuff, you said.
We
Folders.
got the usual folders, white ones and those gold ones are nice. We got the One Lux magazine. We have notepads, pen, pins,
Chapstick.
chapstick, and a mug. Where'd this come from?
Listen,
What does
you
it
don't
say
need
on
to
there?
know where my sources come from.
All right. Two pens. All right, it is number 3. Who's number 3? Anna.
I needed that.
Where's she at?
Oh, wait, oh, I need that.
Welcome back. All right. We got some important stuff to talk about today. Let's talk about our breakfast sponsor first. Who's enjoying those French toast sticks? Come on out.
Good
morning.
I hope everybody's doing well. Aren't we grateful that it's like 13 degrees cooler than it typically is in July? I am. I mean, AC calls are still there, but it's a
So
lot.
I saw in the news this morning that, last year there in July, in this part of July, there was 13 days that were 110 or above.
Yes.
This year, 3.
Yeah.
So a lot cooler this year.
I'm not complaining, at least not about that. I might complain about other things, but. So I wanted to have a little, it's like 4 minutes, if you'll allow me 4 minutes. For those of you that are in here, any of you that do listings, and I don't need my glasses to read, so, putting them on my head, so. But I wanted to talk about something that can optimize your listings and maybe protect your sanity a little bit when you list a home, and it's called seller's coverage from Old Republic Home Protection. So picture this. You walk into your favorite restaurant, favorite Mexican restaurant, and before you get even looking at the menu, excuse me, the server brings you over chips and salsa on the house. Why? Because they presume that you're gonna stay for the entree. That's exactly how seller's coverage works. It's complimentary coverage, chips and salsa, during the listing period, with the expectation that someone will later purchase a buyer's plan, the entree. So what is seller's coverage really? It's a limited home warranty for your sellers that protects many of the systems in the home, in your seller's home, excuse me, while it's on the market. And the best part is there's no upfront cost. It protects their budgets from some unexpected failures and breakdowns and those things that could potentially derail a transaction. So the timing on this would be that once the listing is active in your MLS, you can add seller's coverage. It's set to last for 180 days, which unless you have a different type of listing, you typically sign a 180-day agreement with your seller, or until close of escrow. So it'll last until close of escrow or 180 days, whichever one comes first. If the property's still on the market after 180 days, you would just have to reach out to me. I have to get permission to have that coverage extended. And it is important to note that in our brochure, in our contract, it does say that seller's coverage comes in conjunction with the paid buyer's policy at the end of the transaction. So we really do want that entree. If you know that the buyer will not be getting an Old Republic Home Protection plan when you go into contract, we ask that you cancel the seller's coverage. We don't want you to just continue to fill up on chips and salsa when you know that you're not gonna get an entree. So what does it cover? It mirrors our silver plan if you take our brochure, with 2 things removed. It does not include HVAC coverage and it does not include rekey service. It's plumbing, electrical systems, water heater, garage door opener motors, dishwashers, built-in microwaves, oven range, garbage disposal. It does not include washer, dryer, refrigerator. It also doesn't cover pre-existing conditions or anything that might be flagged on the inspection or the SRPD. Those items need to be negotiated in the RPA or in some way, shape, or form. But if it fails during the listing, then it's covered. If you want to include HVAC in the seller's coverage, you can add it. It's $70. So in theory, when you get your free chips and salsa and you decide that you want to have guacamole as a side, you have to pay for your guacamole. So guac is extra. And that's a separate then policy for that seller. It does have a limit of $1,500, but note that all of Old Republic Home Protection plans include the cost of refrigerant and repairs. So that can save a lot of money. I mean, refrigerant right now is like $225 a pound, and the average repair takes about 4 pounds. So just consider how much you can save if it needs a repair and refrigerant. So the benefits from your seller side, of course, is it's budget protection. My biggest claim during listings is dishwashers. People don't use their dishwasher. I mean, I do, and they start running it for inspections or taking everything out and running it and the motor seizes up. It's covered. And whether it's replacing the motor or the max payout on an appliance is gonna be $3,000, so I mean, if they have a $5,000 dishwasher, they'd still get up to $3,000 for that repair or replacement, which could keep a transaction on task. And then for you guys, it's just an added value when you take a listing to tell people that you have this limited protection that you can provide them. So it benefits the transaction, it benefits you, benefits your seller, can save people money. There is going to be a trade call fee if they have a claim. So it's a $100 trade call fee, just like our buyer's policy. But imagine if they get 4 pounds of refrigerant and they pay $100, you know what I mean? What a smoking deal. So before you order, I would just say that if you don't have a toolbox, create a toolbox. That way you can place an active listing plan, or you can reach out to me. And then if you are putting it in yourself, I wouldn't put the seller's email in, because you don't want them to get an invoice for anything. We're still in chips and salsa mode, and you don't want them to get an invoice. But then you just, you move forward. You hopefully will be negotiating an older public home protection plan in the contract, so that we turn around and we benefit from the whole enchilada, as you might say. And I'm just here to hopefully answer any of those questions you might have. I have some flyers digital flyers that you could print up and show in a listing appointment. So again, if you are working with someone that you like, trust, or have confidence in, I'd love the opportunity to earn your business. Thank you.
That was a really good analogy. I like chips
Make
and
it-
salsa.
Yeah, but guac is excellent.
And I like the guac too. My favorite Mexican restaurant is Michoacan in Centennial Hills.
Ooh, have you had Juan's Flaming Fajitas?
I have, but the one up here on Tropicana, there's always such a long line to get into.
Oh, tropical.
Yeah.
Or I mean on Centennial, excuse me. Centennial and Simmons-ish?
Yeah,
I'll try it sometime.
got
All
your
right.
reservation.
Rev up, so tomorrow's residential purchase agreement and so on and so forth. Hydrating homeless, we need water. Even though it's not 110 plus, it's still hot out there. And so we need water for the homeless. I'm gonna bring 4 more cases tomorrow. Food truck today, Crab Corner, Maryland Parkway, Seafood House. I don't do seafood, so I won't be over there. But the food truck is out there in the parking lot every Thursday, 11 to 1:30-ish. Is this next week's meeting? This is next week's meeting.
Not next week's meeting, it's
Not next
August
week's.
7th, but
Okay.
we need RSVPs in advance.
So, this, Virginia, she's gonna do financial wellness for us. So I met her several months ago, maybe even last year, at an event, and what she had to say really made sense. So we invited her to come talk to the agents about, financial wellness and goal budgeting and goal setting. So, RSVP, Stephanie Otwood, Edinburgh 200. All right, so there is a bowling tournament. LVR does a bowling tournament every year, and it is coming up in August, on August 22nd. We're gonna see if we could put a team or 2 together. I'm not sure of the cost on it. Do you happen to know the cost?
I don't,
Yeah. But we'll get more information on that out to you. Speaking of LVR, who's aware of all this that's going on, the bylaw changes?
Yes.
So, LVR, if they want to make changes to the bylaws, they have to, the members have to vote on it. Typically, they do that at one of our general membership meetings that they hold 3 times a year. So it's a live vote. Well, for some reason, they decided that they didn't want to do it as a live vote. They wanted to do it on Zoom. Typically, or per the bylaws, you have 30 days in which to review these proposed changes before the vote. They're only giving us supposedly this rule was changed. They're only giving us 15 days to review. There's like, down there at the board, there's basically, there's two factions. And they're fighting a lot amongst each other. So I actually pulled up the bylaw, the proposed changes this morning, and I actually read them over. And all I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna tell you how I'm gonna vote. I'm not telling you guys how to vote, but I'm gonna tell you how I'm gonna vote. First of all, there's, at today from 1 to 4, there's a Zoom that the board will be discussing. Originally, it was supposed to be live. We were supposed to be able to go down to LVR, but we got an email like 9 o'clock last night saying, we're in fear of our safety and safety for you guys, so we're not going to do it live. We're going, so 1 to 4 today via Zoom. I don't like these. I don't like these changes. So I'm going to be voting no on every single one of them. They're doing stuff like,
Well, removing the MLS chair from the board.
yeah,
And the commercial, or
Yeah.
director,
yeah.
Removing the
They're,
MLS and commercial.
I don't know what motion one is. They want to make the treasurer unlimited as opposed to just one term.
Yeah.
Motion number 2 is they want to reduce the size of the board down to 12 directors
That's the better
from
one. That's one of the
16.
better ones.
And does the
I agree with
president
you.
get to nominate
I would
all?
not.
How?
When you start removing the MLS and as you said, the commercial.
Yeah. Yeah.
Can you just state what does that mean for moving?
So they want to shrink the board down because it's easier to control.
Well,
And I'm talking
It's
about.
easier to push an agenda.
Yeah.
With a small board, you need a 75% vote
Yep.
typically. And with a smaller board, you only get 4 people versus right now there's 16 board members plus the.
Yeah, so that's motion 2 and 3.
yes.
Motion 4 is, what is it, the board?
Do you vote
Lowering
on
the
each
qualifying
motion?
Oh, yeah, each motion you would vote separately. So, right now, to be on the board, you need to have served on a committee. Just one committee, right, Jeff?
Yeah, for a certain amount of
Yeah.
time.
Yeah, you have to be involved in certain, now they're saying, you don't have to be involved in anything, you don't have to, that's what they're proposing, which I don't like at all, because, you know, and Jeff brought it up, if you don't have time to serve on a committee, what makes you think you're gonna have time to serve on the board, which takes up a lot more of your time? So, don't like that one either.
Well, and again, Mark, it's just an easy way for leadership to put in their people, their
Right,
friends,
special
get their
appointments.
stuff through, so.
Exactly.
And real quick, Mark, and the problem is that we have 15,000 members. We're lucky if we get a 4% vote when people run. That's how many do not vote. So to sway an election, it might only take 100 votes. So you open it up for like this, well, these are the people like our current president who have lots of money. We're talking about the, you know, John Gaffords and all this crowd and everything. They could literally buy the election with ease. I mean, that's what he did, you know, with, you know, paying for all that, because you really don't need that many votes. Then you pack it with a certain type of brokers and members up there, because they're basically saying that top producers, and you have, if you read it, you have to produce so much in a 5-year period, blah, 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 blah. You don't, is that really gonna be the people that are gonna look out for the average realtor? Cause you know that only 5, it's the old 95% rule. You know, so the people doing their 2, 3, 4 deals a year are not gonna be, they're not gonna be passing stuff there.
And what about the managers that don't do transactions? Are they not allowed to, you know, like, if I wanted to join, I wouldn't be able to, based on that,
Yeah.
so, which I don't want to.
But you should have the option.
Don't ask me to. Bottom line is I'm gonna be voting no on all of them. I don't like any of them. It's a power play. There's a lot of rumors, which I'm not gonna get into. Or maybe I should. Here's the main rumor that's going on. And I don't know if it's so much of a rumor, is the current administration, portion of it, would like to sell off our MLS
Terrible idea.
to like a hedge fund.
Right.
Terrible
And
idea.
we will have no control at all. I mean, we have little control as it is, but we'll have no control. They can raise our fees up to astronomical. For that reason, I want our current administration to have as little control as possible right now. If we vote these in, they'll have more control.
Can I also add one more thing?
Yep.
If you choose not to vote, you're trying to do that proxy thing, and it's not gonna do us any good. You need to vote no.
Need to vote. Yep.
Because otherwise, like Jeff said, you don't get the amount of votes out there, and we could lose because of the current administration might have enough friends
Yeah.
to do it. You have to vote. You
After
can't
vote.
just
When
walk
is the
away.
vote? Is it 30th?
Monday.
Monday.
I believe it's Monday.
Okay.
But I think you have to register to vote too, believe it or not.
So go into, you're getting the emails, we all get those emails, but if you're not, if they're going into your junk or whatever, just go into LasVegasRealtor.com, log in, and then register to vote and make sure that you vote on Monday. Super, super important. And I'll tell you guys,
I take Monday back.
I rarely get involved in the politics of what's going on in our association, but I think this is important.
It is.
I really
Very
do.
I think it's a what?
I think this is important. Yeah.
That's why it's so important
It
for
sounds
people to
like-
vote, but
I
I don't
mean,
think I'm right about Mondays, just follow the emails.
Yeah.
Is it
I
Monday?
mean, in the 6 years I've been here, I've never been, this passionate about anything that's going on down at the association.
Yeah, that's what I thought, that's why I think
Yeah,
Monday.
yeah.
What
Yes.
causes that?
What's that?
Why is safety a concern? Are people that upset?
But everyone bringing their pitchforks down there, I don't know.
Well, the last-
A lot of angry people.
Wasn't the last time they did something like that at the board, that a fight broke out?
A lot of angry people, and yeah.
And do you think they're gonna be able to get a Zoom meeting with all these people in it?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. I
They
mean,
better
if
have an
not,
unlimited amount.
Right?
That's
'Cause-
probably their thought
Yeah,
process.
I'm thinking too. And you know what? Wouldn't be surprised if somehow it got shut
Shut
down.
down.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
darn.
Yeah.
Zoom
Darn.
comes, yeah, but we still have to move forward with the meeting.
Yeah,
You're right. Here's what you missed.
yeah.
I mean, it's just.
Although today is just informational, but it's supposed to be our opportunity to speak out as well. So we'll see if
Which
that
is another
happens.
reason why, if you ask me, they don't want people down
Yeah.
there. It's just
Yeah.
like,
Right.
they're,
There's a lot of angry people.
Well, because everything that we've known is gonna change per this new administration, and it wasn't supposed to be like this.
Yeah.
It was supposed to be more for us and,
Yeah,
Seems like the federal government.
yeah.
They're trying to executive
very
order
much, yeah.
everything.
Yeah. And the current president, he's president this year, he was, kind of pushed into that role. He's also elected as president for next year, and then he'll be the
Past president.
immediate past president, so.
Can't be vote on that.
We need, no, I suppose
Who is it?
somehow.
George.
Mark, does every state have their own MLS on this or this?
Well, it's even, some states have several.
Well, it's an association.
Yeah.
It goes by association.
Yeah.
Not state.
All right, any questions on that?
Vote.
Did I get you guys riled up enough?
Yes.
Vote. All right, John's not here, Anthony's not here,
But I'm here.
By default.
and he scribbled all over my wall again.
But you can read it.
But yeah, I told him, normally it's in code and we have no idea.
Well, let's
what-
throw some code up there then.
Oh, okay.
this matters, but show of hands, what's your favorite platform for social media?
Facebook.
Oh, tell me.
Instagram.
Facebook?
I like Facebook.
Instagram?
Instagram is too.
All right. TikTok?
I like TikTok.
I don't like TikTok.
So I looked on my Instagram in 2012. This is the very first picture that I posted in 2012.
Is it still there?
It is. I was on an airplane going to San Francisco to do a convention because I was in tech back then. But anyway, kind of fun to look back on. 30 minutes, if you want to hang out with me today, we're going to talk about a kind of deep dive into Instagram and which format do you think is most effective?
Reels.
Reels?
What is carousels?
More the reason to hang out with me today.
I guess so.
But that's where you put several photos together, and then people can swipe through them in anticipation of the next photo. So
Is that primarily Instagram?
Instagram and Facebook as well. But we're going to talk about these and where you'll find effectiveness and success in these and how to use them for your end goal. So if you want to hang out 30 minutes, we'll do it.
What are laptops?
Cool. Don't need your laptop. Yep, just a presentation. Then you can take it with you.
Directly after the meeting. Tim Sands.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Too kind.
And here's our stats, active listings, just hovering just under 10,000. Of those 71,119 are single family. See the price decreases. Months inventory. What was it last week? 4.2, so it's gone up again. 4.3 months inventory. That simply says if there was not another listing taken, we would be completely out of listings in 4.3 months. 4.3 months is we're getting into buyer's market territory. When we've been in, under a month, not that long ago, clearly seller's market. Well, we're in buyer's market now. What does that mean to you? More importantly, what does it mean to your clients?
More negotiations.
Means what?
More negotiations.
More negotiations. Why?
Because the seller will be willing to give you just about anything.
Because there's more listings on the
They're
market.
sitting on the market that long.
Yep.
More choices.
More choices, yeah. Buyers have a lot more choices. A lot of them are sitting on the sidelines still, waiting for those interest rates to come down. But I'll tell you right now is when those interest rates come down, even if they just come down into the 5s, inventory's gonna go way down, prices are gonna go way up. And we're gonna get right back into a seller's market. So, again, my job is to educate you guys so that you guys go out and educate your buyers and sellers. Any questions on any of that? So we post these, they'll be in your newsletter, they'll be in social media, grab it and put it on your social media. All right, let's talk contingencies. When I'm talking contingencies, I'm talking about in our purchase agreement. I also refer to contingencies as weasel clauses. Because they're a way of buyers to weasel out of a contract. So what is a contingency? In real estate, a contingency is a condition or action that must be met for a real estate contract to become legally binding and for the sale to proceed. Essentially, it's a clause in the purchase agreement that allows a buyer to back out of the deal without penalty if certain conditions are not satisfied. These conditions or contingencies protect the buyer by giving them a way to back out if the purchase if something unexpected rises, like a problem with the home inspection or the inability to secure financing. That's the definition. I Googled it. What contingencies do? They protect buyers. Contingency allows buyers to withdraw from a contract without losing their earnest money deposit if they're not met, gives buyers time, and offers flexibility. So that's what contingencies are. Now we're gonna, how many contingencies do you guys think are in our power purchase agreement?
Six.
Six? Five?
If you add them all up, you're about 25 to 28.
Yeah.
Oh.
They're not all just called contingencies, and a lot of them overlap,
That's what I thought.
but I think I've highlighted 9 or 10 of them that we're going to talk about. When agents come to me all the time and say, how can I get my buyer out of this? And I start asking them different questions. Are you within your due diligence period? Is the property in an HOA? And just, you know, trying to find ways out for the ways that the buyer can get out. So we're gonna take a look here. And you should all have a what'd you do to my
I didn't change anything, I just added tabs.
talk amongst yourself.
Mark is finding that information. Has everybody seen, I'm sure, hopefully you have by now, but the live calendar that's on onerockstars.com? So it's a calendar of events, it's live. You can see what's going on in any office. You can click into them and also register for Zoom calls if there's a presentation.
There's posts in Facebook and on Instagram with links and a QR code.
All right. You should all have a copy? No? Put a bunch out there. All right, so we're gonna talk about the contingencies, why they're so important to know. It's really important, guys, to know your purchase agreements inside and out. You gotta know what's in there. I know some agents that know, you know, the home warranty is on what page?
I don't know.
Page 5, I believe. And some agents know. It's you know, it's page what number, whatever, and item number what. I don't know that well, but I know that what is in here. So you see the first time contingency or the contingent is mentioned is right here on page 1. It says this agreement is contingent upon buyer qualifying to assume the following existing, or actually it's one above that, this agreement is contingent upon buyer qualifying for new. So it's contingent is mentioned twice right here in the first page. It's either contingent on them getting a new loan, or it's contingent upon them assuming the existing loan. Next time it's brought up, and on line number 3 on page 2, it says additional financial terms and contingencies. Now keep in mind, it doesn't have to say this is contingent on this in order for there to be a contingency there. And I'm gonna go over a few things in here that are contingencies, even though it doesn't say this is contingent upon such and such. But we have additional financial terms and contingencies. We have the loan contingency. That is a way that a buyer can get out if they can't qualify for a loan. How do they need to do that?
A letter from the lender.
A letter from the lender saying that they don't qualify. Exactly. It better be within the number of days that you put in there. What do you put in for days on loan contingency? If we're talking about a 30-day escrow, what do you normally put? 27, 24?
For loan?
Yeah.
28.
28?
I do 30.
30? Yeah.
Counter.
Some people do if it's 30-day escrow, they put a 30-day loan contingency in there. Jeff would counter
I
that, but a lot of
You
agents
gotta
don't.
protect your seller, that's just basically saying we can get it canceled all the way up to the last day.
Who, who we representing?
If you're, I said, no, in this, yeah, but I said, as a seller, that's why I would.
Yeah, and a lot of sellers, agents won't even catch that, they won't even,
They don't.
yeah,
And you really should be also asking your lender, what are they comfortable with?
yeah,
Absolutely.
I
absolutely.
mean, my lender right now is comfortable with 9-day, appraisals and 14-day loans, he can get it done.
Mm-hmm.
I make him stretch it.
So that's the new, the loan, and as Jeff just mentioned, there is an appraisal contingency as well. That contingency is just that the appraisal will come in at value. Right? What are you putting
Well,
there?
and conditions,
Right.
you know.
What
Well,
number did you put there?
again, you have to ask the lender, what are they comfortable with? You
Yeah.
know, it also depends on VA, whatever. And seriously, your loan contingency should only, at that point, unless it's something special, should only really be waiting
For the
for the appraisal.
Right.
At that point, you know, if the person's been working with the lender,
Mhm.
once they have that loan contingency, now they're gonna have approval with conditions, yes.
Usually it's just appraisal and prelim.
Yeah, but there could be some situations where they're cleaning something up or something like that. So there shouldn't be this huge disparity between the two.
Yeah. Usually there's 7 days. Most
Yeah,
people
not
put.
max.
Well, I've had a situation a couple of times, 3 days before close of escrow, loan was approved and everything, buyer lost his job
Yeah.
and boom,
Yeah.
cancel.
Okay,
Well, but that's under loan contingency.
sorry.
So
Yeah.
what, you lose your earnest money.
Yeah, that's,
Yeah.
I had one where the daughter was supposed to give the mother $40,000, it closed, and it closed, the daughter went ghost. My people kept their earnest money.
They're out of contract.
I mean, things happen.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's an act of
Still is
God.
under, he didn't get loan, he didn't approve.
But he was approved, I mean,
Yeah.
I stepped off a curb and I got killed by a car, I mean.
Sorry.
Yeah.
All right, so the most, when we're talking contingencies, the most common one that most people think of in the contract is the contingent upon sale of another property. So that one is right in there, and you know what, I think it deserves more space because a lot of people just breeze right over that. But if it is contingent on the sale of another property, there is an addendum for that. What is it called? A contingent upon sale addendum. So that needs to be with the purchase agreement when you're representing the buyer. If you're representing the seller, it better be there as well. And if it's not there, you need to reach out to the buyer's agent and say, hey, I see you checked that it is contingent. I need that contingent upon sale addendum. Okay? Fixtures, some people can, so when Jeff said 20 or 25 contingencies, he actually got that from one of our trainers in town. His name is Jimmy Day. He's a great instructor, and he teaches that there's 20 or 25 contingencies in this contract. And you know, there's so many that are, like I said, they don't say contingent upon.
Yeah.
And the fixture, the personal property, is one of them. What else we got here? Sale of property, close of escrow. Can that be a contingency?
Yes.
How so? Doesn't say contingent.
No, but it's got a
If you
date
don't
that
close
it
the
must
time,
be
then you need to.
completed by.
Yeah, you're both right. If it doesn't, if it's supposed to close on July 15th and the seller is not able to close on July 15th, there's the contingency right there. And if it needs to go longer, what do you need to do?
Extension of escrow addendum.
You need an addendum. Anytime the purchase agreement is changed, you need an addendum. Anytime. Let me back up here for a minute. And this is not really contingency, but
earnest money,
earnest money.
yeah.
So that is a contingency, right? If the earnest money isn't deposited, the buyer is out of contract. Here's a situation I had many years ago. And one of my agents represented the buyer, okay? In the purchase agreement, it said that they were gonna put the $5,000 in escrow by a personal check. Yeah, we used to do personal checks back then, remember those days?
Pick them up at the office.
Yeah, sometime when we write the purchase agreement, we get the check right then and there. So he was going to, and within 3 days, okay? $5,000 personal check within 3 days. He wired the $5,000 in on day one. Better funds, earlier.
So,
What's that?
if it's written check, it has to be checked.
Yeah.
Or an addendum
So
done.
we got a cancellation from the sellers saying, we're canceling this deal because the buyer did that. And we couldn't do anything about it, because they didn't follow the contract. And here's the thing, any variation of the contract, anything different, needs to have an addendum. If you
Change loan programs.
change loan programs, I was just gonna go there.
That one happens all the
How about
time.
this one? If you change lenders,
Yes.
where in the contract does it say
Yeah, no,
what
sometimes
lender?
you stay with the same program, but you should advise the other
Yes.
side, if it's gonna be a delay.
Right. But it's not a requirement, because nowhere in the purchase agreement does it mention the lender. But like Jeff said, you know, to be a good agent, you need to notify, as long as it's the same loan, FHA, VA convention, as long as it's the same loan program, you don't need to do an addendum for that. Okay?
What about on the commission?
What about on the commission?
I was told we were supposed to do an addendum, and I was told I didn't have to do an
Well, that
addendum.
has nothing to do with contingency.
Yeah. If the commission
But it was
changes.
changing on the contract, yes.
It's in the
Yeah,
county
you
line.
need an addendum, if it's different than the contract and or the counters, they changed, then you need to do an addendum for that, yes.
I have to give, buyer's credit from out of my commission.
If you're doing a buyer's, yeah, still need an addendum, yep. So we did close of escrow. Title insurance? Oh, there it says contingent right there. This purchase agreement is contingent upon the seller's ability to deliver good and marketable title. What are some circumstances where the seller wouldn't be able to do that?
Tax lien,
Less pendant.
less pendants,
Any sort of liens could be on there. I saw a child support lien for like $200,000 one time. Yeah. So, he wasn't able to sell his house. I won't get into
He's stuck.
my thoughts on
Mark,
that. Yeah.
right here, what letter, what number, I'm sorry, on that form?
Number seven.
Page
7.
Three,
Yeah, number 7, title insurance. And that's on page
Three.
3.
Mark,
Yes.
you had said on fixtures, there was contingencies in there, what is that?
So,
If you
if-
walk through and everything's gone?
Yeah. Yeah. I actually had something kind of like that happen to me years ago. We're talking about, you know, mid to late 90s, and it was a $400,000 home, huge home for back then. And there was 8 of these beautiful ceiling fans, big 5-bladed ceiling fans. And, I was representing both the buyer and the seller. And the buyer happened to be an attorney. So we walk in and I thought, oh, that's weird. And he replaced it with these little dinky Home Depot 4-bladed ceiling fans. And I'm like, I noticed it right off, and the buyer noticed it right off. And so we called the seller, and he goes, oh no, that's always been like that. We pulled up the pictures and the MLS, and no, it hadn't all of it. And then we go upstairs, and there's one of these big, beautiful ceiling fans sitting on the ground, like he didn't have room in his truck or something, or ran out of time or something. So yeah, we had to deal with that. So yeah, that's a contingency.
Can't that apply to appliances as well?
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, if they replace the
Washer and
piano
dryers.
with the, with.
So if the appliances are included in the purchase agreement, however, they replace it with rinky dinky,
Right.
What do you do?
In
To
the
prevent
offer,
You
I,
can put it in the offer, that's
Yeah.
what I do too.
current make, model, whatever, washer, dryer that was in the, house
Yeah.
at this time.
Take a picture of it.
Do
too.
not write everything per MLS,
Yeah.
that's a violation.
Yeah.
You've now
Do not-
brought the sheet
listen what
into
he
the
said.
deal.
Do not write everything per MLS number such and such, dated such and such.
Oh, do not?
Do not
Never.
do that. The reason why is because those MLS printouts are specifically for agents, right? So if you put that in the purchase agreement, that is part of the contract now. And that has to go to other parties, has to go to lender, has to go to the title company, and those are specifically for. So it can be, and I see that in the future being a violation. It's not currently a violation, but it's not a good idea to do it.
Interesting.
And then when you're representing the buyer, they've taken these beautiful chandeliers and now you can cancel the contract and get your earnest money back? Or
Well, I never say you can get your earnest money back. You never talk on
Oh, it's
definite
fine.
terms where earnest money is concerned. Just let them know, hey, you probably do the earnest money, but it takes a signature by both parties to get it out. I have a hard time this late. You can usually negotiate something, a credit or something like that. On my ceiling fan issue, I thought for sure it was gonna end up a lawsuit because my guy was an attorney, a California attorney at that. And he just let it go. I guess he didn't care. Don't know why. But I told him, you're right, I'll support you in whatever you wanna do.
But would you have had better footing if you had had all of the details from the make, model, and photos and everything, or it's really
No,
not necessary?
No, you can't get make model on everything, I'm not gonna climb up on a ladder and find the make and model.
But
of
it's
a
more that you had had
ceiling
that
fan.
conversation.
That's
But
why
on
it's-
refrigerator, washer and dryer, I'd do it, I'd take a picture too. And make sure that your camera dates and times the photos.
But that's just grounds to discuss. It doesn't, there's no guarantee that the
Yeah.
seller's gonna do anything.
It's our job to negotiate. Yes.
So I have a question. If, say you do like a lease back to the seller,
Okay.
and then the buyers come back after, say, their expiration of their lease back, and stuff is missing from the house, what happens there?
Then,
Do they have any legal action, or, because they've already purchased the home?
The first thing
So-
is always you reach out to the listing agent and say,
Uh-huh.
hey, this is what's going on, this is what's happened. Please talk to your client and find out, how we're going to resolve it. Always, that's
Yeah.
the first thing you do. If the seller says, not gonna do anything, then it's really between the buyer and seller at that point. We're going to do what we can to help and assist our client, but there's only so much we can do. It would probably, go, what does our contract say?
Until closed?
It says mediation.
Oh,
If there's an
mediation, okay.
issue, it goes to mediation first. You don't know how many times agents come to me and ask a question, and my answer is, what does the contract say? And I have them go and look it up. But if there's ever a dispute, it needs to go to mediation first. Now, our association used to offer mediation, but they don't anymore. So there's services out there, there's mediation services that you can use. And it's really, it's your client that needs to do this. It's, you know, we're there to help and assist, but we're not there to, you know, make the mediation appointments. Also, really the best way to do it, if it's under, I think, $10,000, is have your client file in small claims court. Because if you've ever been to small claims court, and I have numerous times, they always make mediation an option first. They stand up in front and so the buyer and seller can get together, they take them to a separate room, try to mediate. If nothing happens, then they can go right to small claims court. So in my opinion, that's the best way to handle the mediation issue. Questions on that?
How much is the cost for the mediation services now?
Yeah, the mediation services themselves, I'm not sure of. I'm pretty sure to file in small claims court, it's like $70. And I think mediation service, there's some free ones out there. Yeah. But just Google is your best friend. All right, buyer's due diligence. Buyer's obligation is or is not conditioned. Conditioned, is that another word? Yeah, it's conditioned on buyer's due diligence. So again, read these contracts over, because in part of what it says in there, did I highlight it? I did not. Well, I highlighted the whole section. This is really important. Is, you know, part of it is they got to keep all the utilities on. I think it says through close of escrow, in order for us to be able to do a lot of agents think that due diligence is strictly for the home inspection. It's not. It's for anything. So it even says in there, flood zones, airport noise, noxious fumes, odors, environmental. I mean, it goes into dozens of things. It's not just the home inspection. The buyer has to make themselves very satisfied with the property. And basically, the buyer can cancel any time during that due diligence period. And they really don't even have to say exactly why. Exactly why is they just reference section 8 of the buyer's due diligence. They can cancel. Now, a listing agent is going to want more information. You know, they're going to want to know exactly why. But do we have to tell them? No, we don't. It's due diligence. They can cancel for any reason during due diligence. It could have nothing to do with the inspection. It could be.
Sky is blue.
Yeah. It could be your buyer has a work truck, and it says in the HOA document, that would be under the HOA, but it could still fall into there. In that you know, the HOA doesn't allow work trucks to be parked on the property. This is the one I really wanted to get into, is the right here. Common interest communities. That's one big, you know, there's, when agents come to me, that's one of the questions I ask. Is it an HOA? Have you received the HOA documents? When did you receive the HOA documents? These are really, really important. If the property is subject to a common interest community, this is the important line right here. It's bolded for a reason. Seller shall provide at seller's expense, and that's capitalized, the CIC documents as required by NRS 116.4109. It's a statute. When it says NRS, it means it's a statute. That means that's the law. They call that the resale package. So, okay, here's the first time frame. I don't know how many times I've heard, we're gonna order the resale package after the earnest money is deposited. We're gonna order the resale package after the inspection is done. We're gonna order the resale package after the appraisal is done. Because they don't know the contract. Says, seller shall request the resale package within 2 business days following the date of acceptance. Seller needs to order that within 2 days. Now, when it says seller, it means listing agent, really. And provide the same to buyer within 1 business day. So they order it. We have no control on how long it takes the HOA to get it to us, but oftentimes we can go online and get it right away. So once they get it, they need to provide it to the buyer. And when it says buyer, it should say slash buyer's agent within 1 business day of seller's receipt. These time frames are really important when we're talking about the contingencies. So those are just the first 2 time frames. There's a couple more that we need to talk about. Buyer may cancel this, again, it's in bold for a reason. Buyer may cancel this agreement without penalty, until midnight of the 5th calendar day following the date of receipt of the resale package. Buyer has 5 days in which to review the resale package. If there's something in there that they don't like, if there's anything, I mean, it just could be their weasel clause. There could be, they may not have even read it, but they could still cancel the transaction within those 5 days.
And that's one thing is if you say you're canceling that and the listing goes, well, what was it they didn't like? Do not give a reason. Don't state because of this, because of $3, because of a truck. Because they might be able to go back to the HOA and, oh, no, they're changing that or this. All you say is upon buyer's review of the HOA docs, they have decided to cancel this transaction. Why? They just
Nowhere in here does it say they have to spell out the reason.
Yeah, do not get specific, because that will hurt you in the end.
Yeah. The next one, another important time frame. If buyer does not receive the resale package within 15 calendar days following the date of acceptance, this agreement may be canceled in full by the buyer without penalty. They need to receive it within 15 days. Now, if it goes into day 16 or 17, the buyer still wants the house, it doesn't mean it's automatically canceled. But the buyer has that weasel clause to get out of it. So when agents are coming to me all the time, I'm asking these questions. You know, is it in an HOA? Did you get the HOA resale package? When did you get it? You know, and so these are important. Important for you to know the contract so that you know how to best protect your buyer and your seller. Paul?
Just one thing to also add to that. So when you're ordering the HOA resale package, a lot of times we're going to order the demand statement as well too. Sometimes you might want to hold off on ordering that demand statement because that demand statement is only good for a certain amount of days. If you order it too soon.
Yeah, good point. Good point.
But a lot of times escrow orders.
I was just gonna say that, yeah, the EO escrow officer oftentimes orders that, so. I don't know, I was gonna say something.
Damn dementia.
Damn dementia. This sucks getting old.
And then also too, you can always, if the buyer does back out because of the HOA, so the rules or anything, you can tell your seller, rest assured, don't worry, we don't have to purchase it again. This is good for 12 months.
Is it?
No, they're not.
No, they're
90
not.
days.
Is it 90 days?
90 days.
Is it 90 days?
I thought it was 30.
No, I'm pretty sure it's not. I think it was 30 at one time. I think they.
Condo search tries to tell you, I think it's condo search or home wise tries to tell you 30 days, but I think you just have to get an update.
I'm 90% sure it's 90 days. But if you find something else, let me know,
Okay.
because I've been preaching 90 days for years now.
But I don't think you have to reorder the whole package, it's just the budget and new,
Yeah.
updates.
Well, it depends on the management, whatchamacallit, all
Yeah.
of a sudden Highlands will make you pay for everything
Yeah.
over you, they're terrible.
All right, what else we have here? We got, CIC, oh. Is there any contingencies here at number 12?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No problem, SRPD.
So the SRPD is a big contingency in itself. So the buyer has 5 days, I believe, to review that, or to approve, or be able to back out based on that. So, yeah, so there's contingencies all over this purchase agreement.
And most of them benefits buyers. In the real estate, it's like buyer is the customer.
Absolutely.
Customer is always right.
Yeah. At most, all of them,
Yeah.
90+% are a protection to the buyer. And that's what it said in the original description. It was all about protection for the buyer. The last one I'm going to mention here is the walkthrough. Is that a contingency? Why?
House is gotta be in the same condition as when you put an offering on the house.
So Dawn said the house needs to be in the same condition or better as when you put the offer in. In addition to that,
The repairs that have.
Repairs have to be done.
How about our old walk, I hated that thing, where you, basically you were
Yeah.
doing a reverse SRPD.
yeah, that was horrible.
Remember that one?
Yeah.
And my guy that bought your house that time, oh my God, he was an engineer. He literally opened and closed every window of his,
Really?
went through everything. I'm like,
At the walkthrough,
yeah, I'm like, oh my
did he get a
God.
home inspection?
Yeah, but still, at the walkthrough, he went to everything on that list. I was like,
Here's what I tell buyers on the walkthrough is, our job here is just make sure the home is basically in the same condition as when you saw it last, as well as anything that we asked to be repaired, that those items were repaired.
which we really should have done.
That's what we're here
way
for.
before that.
What's that?
I mean, I'm
Yeah.
not gonna wait till the walkthrough to make
Yeah.
sure repairs were done.
Yeah. And that's all I have on contingencies. Any questions on any of this? Any of the purchase agreement? Again, really, really important that you guys know the forms, know this purchase agreement, know the listing agreement, know some of the addendums that we use, know them, so that you know what's in there.
I had a buyer he wanted me to ask the seller if anybody died in the house.
Okay, so
If
Shaw says,
nobody died, but during the escrow, in 30 days, 5 years before, people die, right?
yeah, well, some people freaked out about it, but it's not something that it's mandatory to disclose unless it was asked by the buyer, or.
The house.
If the house caused
the death.
Or if the house causes the death,
So
yes.
he wanted to know, that's why
Must have been with the Asian. Yeah.
So if somebody dies in the house and the buyer asks, you have to tell them. Yes, somebody did.
Yep.
Other than that, that's what I thought.
Not mandatory.
And somebody told me.
And each state is different. Or that's our laws here.
Can they put it extra terms and, how do you?
Put it in the agent remarks.
No.
Some dude hung himself in this
In the
house.
contract, let's say I asked before we enter into a contract, no, so far, as they know, they own the house for 5 years, nobody died during the 5 years, and we don't know before who will. But
You
can
can
the
disclose
buyer,
what you know.
can the buyer put in the contract, hey, during the 45 days escrow, if anybody died in the house, we can back up?
Put it in the contract. Sure.
I wouldn't. I feel like I'm wishy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's just a negative thing.
I might put in an email to the listing agent, hey, the buyer is a little, freaked out about this, if anywhere were to pass, if there's somebody in a hospital bed hooked up, yeah, maybe that's,
So if you know that like if you talk to the seller before and just in conversation, they mentioned to you that somebody died, but the new buyer doesn't ask, do you still have to tell them?
if I'm the buyer's agent, I'll tell the buyer.
No, she.
No, if I was,
Listing agent.
yeah, if I was
A
the
listing
listing
agent,
agent,
don't
You're not
have to.
and then
required.
the buyer, they don't ask,
Yep.
I don't have to then
No.
say, oh, by the way, somebody died in the
No.
house.
Cause it doesn't need to be disclosed by the seller, so it doesn't need to be disclosed by the listing agent.
I was showing a property and representing the buyer, and the buyer asked me if somebody died in the property.
Mhm.
And they said, I don't have an idea because it was vacant. And I said, maybe you could ask the neighbors. And when we get out of the door, the neighbor was walking towards us and told us
You know somebody.
that one of the seller died
Really?
3 months ago
Oh.
in the property.
So did he write an offer? Some people are freaked out by it, some people it doesn't matter.
My uncle owns Berkshire Hathaway in San Francisco,
Right.
they do have to disclose there.
Right.
And like, especially in the Asian community.
Right.
If you're not disclosing it, cause
You don't
it's
tell them
very
the
big
neighbors,
in the
right?
Asian community, they wanna know that, if one did happen in San Francisco, that's 50% of your buyers.
And understand something, if you don't tell them, the neighbors will, just like, you know.
But
Absolutely.
it's still not
Yeah.
something that if you don't have knowledge of it,
Right.
if your seller doesn't tell you, it's,
Yep.
that's why you don't fill out SRPDs, it's only what your seller tells you.
Alrighty, any other questions?
Quick question, on the, HOA package,
Uh-huh.
the day it's delivered, we have 5 days to cancel,
5 days to review it.
review it.
Yep.
When does that day 1 start?
Day 1 is,
Like
if I
they got
receive it today, day 1 is tomorrow.
Okay, a lot of people don't
Okay.
know that.
Yep.
But it's
I
when
get
it's
it.
delivered
I
to
get
the
it.
agent, not to the client. You
Right.
have no control over delivering it to the client.
Yep.
So if you give it to the buyer's agent on Tuesday, they don't give it to him till Thursday, that person only has 2 days to review it.
Yeah.
It's when, that's why it's smart to, maybe we were talking about this, do a receipt on your email, just when it was open, so that,
Please confirm receipt of
yeah,
this.
please confirm
Yep.
receipt, so that hey, it's not my fault, you didn't give it to him for 3 days.
So if you get a listing, since Jeff made a comment, if you get a listing in an age community, like San Francisco, and is that something you should ask the seller? Did somebody die in here? Or just,
No.
you don't need to mention it,
No.
yeah, you don't.
California's
Get off the
different,
death
so.
Yeah,
Yeah,
California's
I'm
different.
licensed in California, so you have to ask that question,
Yeah.
so.
Well, in California, you have to tell.
Right, exactly,
Yeah.
it's a requirement, yeah.
This is
My mom
California.
passed in her house and I had to disclose it.
Alrighty. Remember,
Yep.
no matter how you slice it, greatness is a choice. Let's go out and be great and learn our forms.
Let's learn about Instagram too.